we are getting this party started. We know it's going to take Facebook and Instagram and Clubhouse a minute to get us all together. So we are just here a little bit early. Hey, Wanza. Hey, Asia. Hey, Stock Nation. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Hey, Sunny. Hey, it's Move to Millions Monday. Hey, Tamasha girl. How are you? I'm so excited to see you here. I am just waiting for a few more people to come and join us, and we'll get this party started. If you are here, share this out to all of the ways you can share. We are going to get Move to Millions Monday started in just a few minutes. Happy Monday. I hope you had as amazing a weekend as I did. My weekend was thebomb.com, y'all. Like, it was so good. We're going to talk about it. Because it was really, really good. We're going to talk about the fact that it has been a year since God gave me Move to Millions Monday. I can't believe it's been a year already. And so I want to share some of the lessons that I've learned as we've been undergoing this massive rebrand and finding the confidence and the courage to step into a version of myself that can feel scary at times. And, you know, how you overcome the fear of doing something that is so far out of your comfort zone. You know, I know a lot of people think that and are afraid to raise their rates or niche down their services because they feel like if they do that, they're not going to be able to serve the people that they want to be able to serve. So we're going to talk about all of that and so much more. So hello, I'm so excited you guys are here. Do me a quick favor. If you are in a position to share this, please share this. Share this with someone that I don't know, that I should know, so that I can get in front of some new people, right? Y'all know people I don't know that need to hear this information that I'm here to share with you. And we're going to get this party started. So first, I'm actually going to pray today. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I'm going to go before the Lord. And if you are in a position to join me in prayer, then I highly recommend that you do. If you are driving, please drive your car. Okay. Do not be closing your eyes. Don't do it. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick prayer and then we're going to jump in. So Lord God, we say thank you. We just come before you first and foremost, just to honor your name. God, I worship your holy name. You are so amazing, God. You love us so much, God. And I just want to thank and praise you right now for everyone who is currently under the sound of my voice. Those who will listen back to this in the replay. God, I just want to praise you right now for each and every one of them. Whatever it is that they are standing and desiring right now, I am thanking you in advance for meeting and exceeding the need. God, I thank you for the promises that you've made us in your word. I thank you that your promises are yes and amen. God, I thank you that you are not a man that you should lie, nor the son of man that you should repent. God, I thank you that if you said it, you will make it good. God, I thank you that you have already determined that every single person who is under the sound of my voice was created in your image and likeness, that you have known and approved them, that you said that they would do exceedingly and abundantly above all they could ever ask of, think, or imagine, according to the power that is at work within them. That power that you placed inside of them before they were formed in their mother's wombs. And so for that, God, I thank you and I praise you. God, whatever it is that they are desiring right now, meet and exceed the need. Show yourself mighty in their lives. God, blow their minds. Let them know that no matter what it is they have thought about you, what it is that they have heard about you, that is wrong. And you are the lover of their soul. And you want them to prosper. You want them to experience wealth that is unparalleled. Wealth that, as you say in your word, will leave an inheritance for their children's children. God, I thank you that you said that you would make them rich and there would be no sorrow with it, God, that they don't have to hustle and grind and they don't have to wake, pray, and slay. God, they don't have to do any of that because of who you are. We honor you right now for all that you are, all that you have been, all that you will forever be. God, we just praise you. We love you. We honor you. In a mighty matchless name of Jesus, we pray these and all things. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If that blessed your soul, put a 1 in the chat. If you can put a 1 in the chat. I am Dr. Darnyelle Jervey Harmon, and I am so excited to be with you. I am fired up, y'all. Listen, I'm tired at the same time. I had the honor, privilege, and pleasure last week to be in Atlanta serving one of my clients, Jasmine Womack. She had her first ever 6-figure storyteller live. It was amazing. The Spirit of the living God was there, right? The Bible says in Matthew 18 that wherever 2 or more are gathered, there he would be in the midst. Guess what? He is here with us right now. Do you feel his presence? I do. I have chills all over my body. I witnessed God do an amazing work in those 3 days. And then I had the honor and the privilege and the pleasure to go to speak at Eric Thomas's Game Changer Speakers Boot Camp. OMG. It was amazing. And it felt so good because literally it was October the 23rd, 2020. We were on the 3rd day of the last ever Breakthrough in Business experience, when God gave me the 3 words that have changed my life, are changing the lives of my clients. And those 3 words were move to millions. I was literally getting dressed and preparing for the final day of the 3-day experience last year. And I was, just in my zone, and, my music was playing and my spirit was open and receptive to everything that God would have to share with me. And God hit me with, this is the last time you're doing this event, right? I'm like, he keeps doing that to me. Like, it's just getting good. And he decides that he wants to throw a monkey wrench in it, right? But he said, behold, I do a new thing, right? And so I'm like, okay, I guess this is the last one. And then a few minutes goes by and there's nothing. And then all of a sudden, I hear as clear as day the 3 words that are changing my life, that are changing the lives of my clients, that are actually changing your lives, right? Move to millions. As soon as I heard it, I had an unction in my spirit. It was like my spirit leapt. Like, it felt so good. Move to millions. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't know what it meant then. I had no idea what move to millions meant, what it would be. And I was getting ready to go host 200 people for day 3 of my live event. So I didn't even really have time to sit with it. But I liked how it immediately infected my system. I liked how it immediately resonated with my spirit. It immediately felt good. It was like yesterday being on stage at ET's event. It felt good. Like, I felt like that was the place that I was always supposed to be. I feel like every single day of my life, I've been gearing up to get to this moment, right? Yeah, LaDawn, she said, I know that feeling. And so that was the feeling. And so I went down to day 3. And y'all know I can't keep nothing to myself. Like, do not tell me a secret. Don't tell me a secret, okay? And if you do tell me a secret, be sure to tell me I can't tell nobody. Because I get excited. When I get excited, I just want to share it, right? And so I go downstairs and I'm like, this is the last Breakthrough in Business experience. And they're like, what? Like, oh my gosh, this event is amazing. I'm like, but we got something better, because God has given me move to millions. And while I don't know exactly what it means yet, I know that it's going to be good, because that's just how God is, right? And so about 2 weeks go by. What's not true, Marissa? Well, I need to know what you mean that that's not true. About 2 weeks go by. And then God starts speaking, and he's like, move is an acronym. Oh, I hold all the secrets out. Well, okay, maybe I hold some of the secrets, but I like to tell the secrets too. So anyway, 2 weeks goes by and he says, move is an acronym. And I was like, okay, all right, what is it? And so Darnyelle, started to see if I could figure out what the acronym would be. And so I just started throwing words out. I'm like, mindsets. Couldn't come up with optimism, vision, excellence, right? But that didn't hit right. And then God was like, I'm going to tell you what the acronym is. Oh, my bad. Sometimes that's what we do. We go to God, we're spending time with God, but we don't give God an opportunity to impart in us. We just dump what we want on him and we keep it moving, right? And I was having one of those days. And so I sat and I waited and I sat there. It felt like forever, but it was probably in actuality only about 10 minutes. And he said, mastery. Operational obedience. Well, first he said obedience, but then he changed it to operational obedience because I work with business owners, right? I work with CEOs, vision and execution, mastery, operational obedience, vision and execution. Let me break those down for you. Mastery. Now, I work with talented I work with the people who are at the top of their game. When it comes to what they do, there's no one who does it better than them. They have mastered their craft. They are masters at what it is they bring to the marketplace. Like using Marissa as an example, who runs MQP, Marissa Cupane International. She's doing an amazing life class right now. If you don't know about that, you should go look her up. She's a client, but she's also a member of our coaching team. And when I think about mastery, I think about Marissa. Because her gift is phenomenal. Her gift has made room for her. Her gift is unparalleled. And that's who we work with. We work with masters. We work with masters who they have gotten to the level of mastery, right? I think it was Zig Ziglar who said that mastery happens after 10,000 hours doing a thing, right? So if you're a speaker or you desire to be a speaker, after 10,000 hours, you become a master. If you're a coach, you become a master coach after 10,000 hours. But you've done 10,000 hours. You have mastery, right? You need, write this down if you're taking notes. You need mastery in the core areas of your life to experience millions with ease and grace instead of hustle and grind. Now, you can get to the $1 million mark hustling. Ask me how I know. Because I've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. Now, this t-shirt happens to say I've been Darnyelle, but I could potentially have a t-shirt that says I hustled my way to the top. I would never wear that these days because hustle is over, right? Grace and ease is the new hustle. Alignment is the new hustle. That's what it's about these days, right? So that's mastery. Operational obedience. Operations, because if you're going to have a company that generates millions, that impacts the lives of millions, you're going to need to have some systems and infrastructure that undergirds your business, right? That's a big part of where we come in because we're working with masters, and these masters don't always have all of the systems that they need to have in place inside of their business to make the move to the $1 million mark happen with grace and ease. And so we're able to help them experience that grace and ease through setting up the operational infrastructure that supports them where they are now, but more importantly, where they're going, which leads us to the V, which is vision, right? The Bible says, without vision, the people perish, right? Without vision, the move to millions won't happen because you have to see it before you see it if you desire to experience it, right? And so vision is about sitting in a place that you're not right now. That's vision. You've heard me. If you've been following me for any particular point in time, you've heard me talk all about your vantage point versus your vision point. Your vantage point is where you sit right now. Never make decisions. If you're taking notes, never make decisions from your vantage point. Always make decisions from where you desire to be instead. See, I believe that God will give you more while you're moving than he ever will if you stand still, which is why operating from your vantage point is a setup to stay in the same place. It'll keep you sitting and stuck instead of strutting in significance. And this is all about the significant strut. All right, that's what this is all about, which is the move, the movement, the consistent action that takes you on the journey to the $1 million mark. And then the E is about execution, because all of the mastery in the world, all of the operational obedience, all of the vision is nothing if you don't take steps, if you don't move. Again, I say God will give you more when you're moving than he ever will if you stand still. And so when God laid mastery, operational obedience, vision, and execution to and beyond the $1 million mark on me, when he also went farther to say that the move to millions is a double entendre, it's not just about the money. Oh, there will be millions. There will be millions of dollars, right? But it is also about the impact. It's about accomplishing both things at the same time. It's about introducing extreme transformation into the lives of those you love and those you serve. That's what the move to millions is about for me. And so I immediately put on the coat, put on the banner, put on the mission, the mantle, and the mandate, and we went to work. And so interestingly, over this last year, we've been in a rebrand, a brand up leveling. Last week I was in Atlanta. I came back this morning. And while I was in Atlanta, I spent time with Jude Charles, who is my video brand strategist. And we're filming a docuseries that's called Move to Millions. It only makes sense, right? And we were talking about all of the things that have happened over the last year. And I was very clear when we realized that we needed to undergo a visual up leveling, that the visual presence that we had didn't match the experience and transformation that we create. And we needed to dial that in, and we need to take it up a notch. I knew immediately that I needed to work on my brand, my visual brand. But we also worked on the non-visual brand, right? We worked on the messaging. We've gotten so stinking clear about who we are and who we serve. Like, listen, I don't care what you've heard. You ain't never, ever, ever met nobody like me. You have never experienced the anointing on my life will change everything about yours. That's the truth. I got these different camera angles going on here. That is like the truth. And I stand boldly in that. I know who I am. I am continuing to sit in the significance of who I am. When I think about what happened this past weekend at Jasmine's event and at ET's event, what was created because I was in the room, like, I realized that I am an atmosphere shifter. That is who I am. I shift atmospheres. Like, and it feels so good to say that. And you know what? I think I knew it before, but this move to millions that God gave me has really allowed me to come face to face with a complete understanding of who Darnyelle is. And so it is from that place that we've been going through this rebrand. We hired an amazing company, Brand Therapy. Shout out to Rachel Dunham. Her company is amazing. And we've been working since February of last year on what I hope to be able to share with you in about a month or so. Our websites are finally in development. Some of you have seen the new logo because we've kind of peeped it out a little bit. We've talked about it a little bit, but everything has been this amazing uprising. You know why? Because in order to get to the $1 million mark and the impacting of millions, everything about you needs to move up. Everything about you needs to rise. And so we've been on this journey of making sure that we are positioning ourselves to be the igniter for those who are ready to live life at this level. And that's who we are becoming as a company. I've given us a new industry. Technically, I'm a business coach, but if you ever spend time in my presence, you will know that I'm not. I am brilliant at business, but that is not my true gift. Technically, I run a business coaching company, technically, except I'm creating a new category. We are a business transformation company because we work on the whole CEO, and everything about the CEOs we work with transform. Like, I literally watch it happen right before my eyes. You guys, it's the most amazing thing ever. I cannot believe that I get to be this girl who does this every single day. It's really powerful. And so over the last year, I'm going to share 5 principles with you. Over the last year, we've been working through, or the last however many months, we've been working through this rebrand. We've been getting really, really clear about the problem we solve, the people we serve, and the level that we deliver on. We are an experience. I'm a whole vibe. Like, My company is a home vibe. My team, they're a whole vibe. Like, listen, it's ridiculous and amazing. First thing I want to share with you. This isn't a tip. This is like the tip before the tips. In order for you to get to where you desire to be when you think about your vision, you have got to become unapologetic about who you really are. Yesterday, after I finished speaking at ET's event, after I received my second standing ovation during my time with ET, I had a line of people who were waiting to talk to me. They wanted me to pray for them. They wanted to share with me that they haven't been feeling confident and courageous about who they are and what they bring to the table. And that hearing my words gave them permission to be okay with who they are and who they've always been, right? And so the first thing I want to say before I even get into probably the 5 clear tips that have come out of this last year and this move to millions, this new movement that God has created for us, is that you have to become uncomfortable being unapologetic. You have to stop apologizing. You have to stop placating. You have to stop wanting to blend in, because you were created to stand out. You were created to shift atmospheres. You are a planet shaker. I didn't even know years ago when God gave me Shake the Planet. He speaks to me these little buzzwords, right? We got next level everything. We got move to millions. We got Shake the Planet. We got tons of them, right? And when God is speaking to me in all of these things, like, I can immediately see how it could take off. And so you have to realize that who you are, there's no one like you. And I'm not just talking about the fact that no one has your fingerprints. Like, that's esoteric. I'm talking about when God, before your mom and your dad got together and God said, let there be, right? God knew and approved you, and he called you prophets. He made you unlike anybody else. And so now I know that many of us, myself included, we're silenced. We're told that when we are an outward expression of who we are, when we are our most free, that makes people uncomfortable and they want to stifle that, right? We're told that. I experienced that. Get somewhere and sit down. You talk too much. Your mouth is going to get you in trouble. My dad used to say that all the time. Your mouth is going to write checks that you can't cash or something like that. I'm saying it all wrong. But I was told that all the time. And so there was a long time where I didn't own my voice and I didn't speak up with boldness and authority. Because if you're told something enough, you begin to believe it, right? If you can, I want you to put the word believe, Believe. Do you realize that there is a lie right in the middle of believe? I shared that with ET's group yesterday. There's a lie. What does that mean? Most of the things you believe are a lie. Yes, thank you, Marissa. Most of the things you believe are a lie. Yes. Thank you, Sunny. Most of the things you believe are a lie. So for me, let me make it about me. So I hear move to millions. I hear God say, I want you to take a bold stand on working with 6-figure entrepreneurs. My heart dropped. The knot in the pit of my stomach became a lump in my throat, because I had never taken a bold stand for working with people who were at 6 figures. Do you know that when you look at the statistics, there's only roughly 10% of all the entrepreneurs and small business owners out there, only roughly 10% of them are actually making 6 figures a year. Talk about going from wide to deep, right? Like, you just really drill down and reduce the amount of people who are eligible to work with you. I was scared. And I was trying to negotiate with my greatness and come up with an excuse or a reason as to why I shouldn't, why I couldn't. Well, I didn't hear God right. Like, no, you didn't really mean that. Well, what you meant to say was, you want me to work with people who want to be at 6 figures. And God was like, nah, I said what I said. And what I said is, I want you to work with people who are at 6 figures. And I was scared. I was afraid to take that bold stand. But then I remembered when back in 2020, 13, I took my bold stand for God, and I began to be outward with my faith and how God promised me then he would make it easy. And I just decided to trust him that if he said it, he would make it good. I just decided. I didn't know. Knees knocking, y'all. Knees knocking. And it's interesting because last year, right before my event, I had 10 people in my mastermind, y'all. 10 people. Is it even a mastermind if there's only 10 people? I called it a mastermind, but I don't know that it was. Today, we have nearly 40 people. A year later, 40 people. 4X. You know why? Because I decided to take a bold stand and do what he told me. I decided to be obedient. I decided to do it. So that's actually my first tip for you. I believe that you already know who you are and what you're supposed to do. You've just been afraid of it. So my first tip, based on everything that we've done over this last year and the massive growth that we've experienced in our programs, the first thing I can tell you is just be obedient. Like, number one, obedience. That's number one. Number two, second thing that I would tell you to do is get somewhere and sit down. My nanny used to say that to me. My nanny was mean, y'all. She was a mean old lady. She was the first entrepreneur I know. First entrepreneur I knew. She used to sell freeze cups. She lived in the projects, Southbridge projects. Y'all know what a freeze cup is, right? You make some Kool-Aid, you pour it into one of those little styrofoam cups, and then you put it in the freezer and it freezes. And she would sell her freeze cups for 25 cents. She wouldn't even get her grandkids a free freeze cup, y'all. If I ain't had no quarter and I wanted a freeze cup, I couldn't get one. Oh, you called it a cool cup, Aisha? Yeah, I couldn't even get a freeze cup. This is where I learned, A, do not discount your prices, and B, make them pay you for the services that you render. My nanny taught me that. My nanny also taught me to get somewhere to sit down. She told me to seek clarity. Because what we do is we have an idea, but we haven't thought the idea all the way out. And we start to get into action. And halfway through, we get stuck and stalled because we haven't gotten the clarity. This whole rebranding or brand up leveling process began with me creating a document. I literally just did a brain dump. I know branding. I teach it to my clients, right? So I did what I teach other people to do. And I just literally started writing everything out. Who do we serve? How do we want to serve them? My first question, this is a question I want you to write down for yourself. What do you want to be known as? Or what do you want to be known as? Or what do you want to be known for, right? I said I wanted to be known as the iconic, incomparable, incredible CEO moving six-figure entrepreneurs to and beyond the $1 million mark. Iconic, incomparable, incredible. That's what I wanted my brand and who I am, the company that I've built, to be perceived as. All right? That was the first thing I wrote. Then I wrote, how do I get there? How do I get there? Number one, stay true to my core values. This is my second tip for you over the last year. Get clear about your core values. Now, I'll be honest. I was never introduced to core values when I first started my company. Now, I've always had them. We all have guiding principles that we leverage that make us who we are, right? I've always had core values, but I didn't know that I should integrate them in my work. It was Jude, who has also been helping me work on my brand, who helped me to see the importance of having my core values at the forefront of who I am and what it is that I do. So I sat down and I wrote my core values. If you have never done this exercise, go and Google. Actually, you know what? Send me a DM. I did a challenge once. I may never, ever do a challenge again. Okay. But I did do a 7-day challenge once, 2 years ago. I think it was the Next Level Everything Challenge. And day 4 was about core values. So here's what you can do. Shoot me a DM and I will share how you can get my core values exercise. I will share that with you. Shoot me a DM. on either Instagram or Facebook, or even on Clubhouse if you want, for those of you who are with us on Clubhouse. And I will share with you how you can get my core values exercise. So I went through the process of getting clear about my core values. My core values include integrity. That's my number one value, integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. Be who you say that you are. Your word is your bond, right? That's my first core value. Additional core values include love and community, significance and confidence. That's like a slash in between. Results, disruption, equity. I'm probably missing a couple because I'm going off the top of my head, but those are my core values. That's who I am. How will these values integrate into the work that we do? Right? I'm really big on community and love. Like, that's important to me. I think it's because as a child, I didn't feel loved. I felt provided for, but I didn't feel loved. Now, my parents told me later as an adult that that's how they showed that they loved me, was that there was a roof over my head and clothes on my back and food on the table. But what I really wanted is I wanted a hug, right? When I think about my love languages, they are quality time and physical touch, and they're like neck and neck. So that means I want you to spend time with me and I want you to hug on me, which is why today, like, my favorite part of what I do is when I get together with my clients. So whether that's one of our group coaching calls or one of our retreats, I love them because I'm a quality time girl. We were at Jasmine's event on Saturday night. We ended up getting Uber Eats delivered because no restaurants could accommodate. There were 12 of us. They couldn't accommodate us. So we ended up getting food Ubered to the hotel and just sitting in the lobby to eat. I had to get up. My makeup artist was coming Sunday morning at 6 a.m., 6:30 to do my makeup for my ET gig. And I didn't want to leave. I was having separation anxiety. That's how much I love community and being together with people that are of like minds. It does my body good. It makes me feel so good, right? And so that's the second tip, is to get clear about your core values. Third tip is to up level the problem that you solve and the solution that you provide. So we did a lot of up leveling over this rebranding period. We've been doing a lot of up leveling, the full experience. I met with my team back in August. We did a team retreat in New Orleans. Everybody flew in and we did a SWOT analysis. We talked about, or we did a high level SWOT analysis. We didn't go as deep as we wanted to be able to go, but we talked about our core programs and how we could do them better, how we could serve our clients at the next level, how we could become attractive to more people who were at that 6-figure mark, right? Marissa, when you said 100K people in the mastermind, did you mean that there's going to be 100,000 people in the mastermind? That just hit me. I need you to comment that. I need that clarity. And so we talked about how we could take what we do to the next level, because we didn't want to just up level the brand experience, the visual, the visuality of the brand. We wanted to up level how people perceive the brand and what they get from the brand. Like, we want you, when you come into our space, we want you to immediately know that it's different, right? You remember that song, The Men All Paused When I Walked Into the Room? Right? That's what we want, right? We want when you interact with us, whether you interact with us online or these weekly Move to Millions Mondays, however you interact with us, when you do, you immediately feel what's different about the way that we do things, because it's different here. We are very different than anything else you have ever experienced. And climax, yes, climax. The men all paused when I walked into the room. And so get clear about that. And don't be afraid to be contrarian. Don't be afraid to push the limits. Don't be afraid to do something that no one else in your industry is doing. Don't be afraid of that, because those become unique value propositions. Those become things that set you on a trajectory to not only be different, but to be perceived different and to earn differently. It'll change the game for you. It'll really help you move in the direction of the millions that you want, both in impact and in income. Number 4, the fourth thing that I would say I've learned over this year is to make sure that you are surrounded by people who share your vision, but also see it as greater than you. I am so blessed to have an amazing team. Every single person on my team, not only do they hold my vision, but they stretch my vision. You cannot be the smartest person on your team. You cannot be the only creative, innovative, up-leveled person on your team. So that's going to require you to rise up into becoming a better leader. I've been working on my leadership skills. I've been working on being better for them so that we can all be better for our clients, right? That's been a big part of this rebranding. Like for me, it's been an awakening almost. Like I didn't want it to just be something that I did. I wanted it to be an event, an occurrence. I wanted to be a mile marker that when we look back on the trajectory of this company and the legacy that we are establishing, we could clearly see when the bend happened. We could clearly see that. That's what I really, really wanted to happen. And that has come by being really clear about who I need on my team. And even being unapologetic about that. And also being willing to pay them to be able to be on your team. I just processed Marissa's invoice a little bit ago. Did you get your money, Marissa? So making sure that you have an amazing team of people that share your vision and that want to see you at the next level. And here's a sub tip on this tip. As you build out your team, let them shine. Their shine won't steal yours. I've seen so many people who have allowed their insecurity, their imposter syndrome to lose key team members because they're not focused on making sure they big up their people, right? Like I didn't have to tell you about Marissa's wife class, but I did because we shine together. We together shine brighter. We shake the planet. And me telling you about her doesn't take anything away from me. But it allows some of you who never heard of her, never experienced her greatness, to be able to put yourselves in a position to experience her greatness, right? I don't lose anything by calling her name before you and celebrating the greatness that she is. And you've got to get accustomed to that. And then number five is to make sure that your peers, that you are not the smartest one amongst your peers. That you get in the room with some people who break your brain. So yesterday, when Jude and I met to do some interviews that are going to be as a part of our docuseries, Move to Millions, we met at Lamar Tyler of Traffic Sales and Profit at his headquarters in Atlanta. We met in his Rosewood Training Center. And while Jude was getting everything set up, Lamar and I were just chatting. And every time we get on the phone, on a Zoom, we're in proximity. Like we just break each other's brains. This man, he makes me think so big. He makes me think so big. So we're talking about live events because I had just come from Jasmine's event. And, you know, he's got an event in January and I've got an event that we're in the beginning stages of planning in May of next year. Let me sidebar and say, save the date, Move to Millions 2022. May 25th through the 27th. Save the date. We'll be doing official announcements and information will be available effective December 1. So anyway, Lamar and I are sitting there and Lamar runs an 8-figure company. His company does at least $10 million a year. I don't know his exact paper count. But I know that he is already where I am journeying to, right? My move to millions is my move to multiple millions to 8 figures. And we're sitting there and we're talking about his January event. He does 2 events a year, Game Plan and then TSP Live. His Game Plan event, he's going to have 700 people there, he said. The most I've ever had at my event is 300 people. I'm going, for the first time ever, I'm going to be able to go to one of his events. So I'm going in January. I'm going not only to learn from the people that are going to be there. I'm going to be, a student, but also to catch a vision of what 700 people in the room looks like. Y'all. Now, members of my team have told me that my event, Move to Millions, is going to become like mega fest for entrepreneurs. That's what I've been told. And I'm not going to lie. It has felt a little scary at the thought, right? But I got to see it before I see it so that I get to see it. So I get to experience it, right? So I'm going to take in the energy of having 700 people in an event. He went on to say that by the time they get to TSP Live in June, there'll be 1,300 people there. Y'all, listen. I can't even fathom. I mean, I've been to events that have had a lot of people. I've spoken at events that have had thousands of people. I spoke at the $1 Million Roundtable in 2016, I think it was. And I had 2,500 people in my breakout session. So I know what it feels like to stand on the stage. I've spoken, the biggest audience I've spoken in front of is 12,000 people. So I know what it's like to stand on the stage and see that. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I did $1 Million Roundtable, I wasn't thinking about holding the space for my future events, that one day I would have an event that had 2,500 people looking up at me. And the cool thing about speaking at the $1 Million Roundtable is that I was translated into 6 different languages. That was pretty cool. Like, it was funny because like I would tell a joke in English and then there would be a delay and then you would hear the people who had the headphones in the room laugh. I don't even know how they took some of my jokes and made them Mandarin. I don't even know, but they did it. And I remember even when that was prophesied to me that I would be translated into different language. Y'all, I was born in the projects of Wilmington, Delaware. My parents were drug addicts. Seriously? I filed bankruptcy. I didn't know if I was going to be living in my car. I'm translated into 6 different languages so people can hear my content and have their lives changed. I have this video. It's on my YouTube channel. I was in the room. Like when I walked into the breakout room. Now, I've spoken at a lot of conferences. The average breakout room I've spoken in has about 250 chairs, right? So when I walk into a room that is bigger than the room we use for our live events, and it was my breakout room, I about swallowed my tongue. And I said to the person who was my concierge, how many people does this room see? They were like, oh, we could get there's 2,500 chairs, but we could probably get more people than that in here. I almost swallowed my tongue, right? No one was in the room but me at that point. And I was in the room. I was walking around. I was praying. I was praying in my prayer language. I was kind of setting the atmosphere because everywhere I go, I want to be used. I don't care if it's just one. That's the whole premise behind Incredible One Enterprises. I don't care if it's just one, but I want to impact everywhere I go, right? So I'm walking around. I'm walking this expansive room and I'm praying and I'm speaking to God and I'm asking him to use me mightily. And then I realized that I need to go freshen up before we get started. And I walk out the door, y'all. There is a line around the whole side of the convention center where I am in. I went back and got my phone. I was like, they are not going to believe this when I tell them this. And this was an international speaking engagement too. They are not going to believe me. So I literally went back and got my phone and I did a pan of the line that went on forever. Me, y'all, me. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But even then, with all of that, I never held the vision of me having an event with that many people. And so by spending time with people who are smarter than you, that are at the next level beyond you, they can help you to vision cast bigger than you can see. Because sometimes your vision point is limited by your capacity. I couldn't imagine. I think about that scripture in 1 Corinthians 2:9. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, neither has it entered into the heart of man what God has for those who love him. I couldn't imagine. I could not see it. I never thought about it for myself. But listening to Lamar, I was like, oh, I got to be there. I need to sit. I need to be able to stand on that stage and look out at those 700 people and cast a vision for myself so that I can come back to my vision board and see myself there so that we can get our event to that level. Like, that's what I need to do. And that's what this whole move to millions, this resurgence, this this up leveling, this uprising, this stepping boldly and confidently and unapologetically into who I was called to be. That's what this move has been for me. And what it has been for my clients has been ridiculous and amazing. So next year, I'm so excited. Next year, we're going to hold the Move to Millions tour. And that's going to be a precursor to the live event. And when we hold the tour, we're going to show you a portion of the docuseries. So you're going to be able to join me. I haven't picked my cities yet. If you're interested in being an ambassador to bring us to a city, make sure you slide in my DMs, because we're going to do we always do. So if you're in Atlanta, if you're in DC, or you're here in Delaware, we got you, because we always do Atlanta, DC, and Delaware. But I'm interested in going to at least 2 additional cities, at least 2 more. We'll look at our numbers and see where the people are on our list are, so that we'll make sure we're getting to where our community is. But we're going to show a portion of our docuseries so that people can see what this journey has been like, what it's like to take a business that has consistently done 1 million or 2 million and get that business prepared to go to 10 million or 12 million. My actual goal, I hadn't set a financial goal in a very long time, but my actual goal is to get to 12 million, so that we're doing $1 million in cash a month. Do you know that I'll be able to write $100,000 tithe checks? Do you realize that? I am so excited. I'm excited about being able to write a check with 5 zeros every single month. Do you know the change I will get to be in the world when that is the kind of money I'm giving to individuals and organizations? Man, y'all, this is the move to millions, right? I see Detroit. I've been to Detroit before. If you'd like me to come back to Detroit, slide into my DMs. Let's have a conversation of what it would look like for you to participate in helping us to bring the docuseries and the tour there. Because I'm totally interested. I made a decision as a part of this whole rebranding process. I made a decision that I'm not going to play small. I'm not going to stay in my little cubby hole and do what I do best for a couple of people who happen to know about it. I am going to get out into the world, right? Isn't that the charge that we were all given? Go ye out into all the world. Let us make fishers of men, right? That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm excited about. So this last year, it's not even been, well, yeah, it's last year. So October 23rd, 2020, God gave me Move to Millions. It's October the 25th, 2021. It's been an amazing year, and we are literally just getting started. Just getting started. This rebrand has been such an up-leveling for my heart, my mind, my body, my spirit. My commitment to excellence and serving at the next level has been just ridiculous. Thank you for that, Christina. She's, for those of you who aren't on Instagram, she said, the world needs my voice. And I could not agree more. I could not agree more. And I'm so ready. I'm over ready to be out there allowing the world to hear my voice. And so this move is not, for me, it's not just about the money, right? Because the money is a given. The money is a given. It's about changing lives at a soul level. I want more people to be able to experience the fullness of God. Not the God that many of us learned about in the churches that had a limited perspective and view and only wanted to fear us into paying our tithes. The fullness of God. All that he is, always, all that he has always been, all that he forever will be. That's what I want to do. I want to make his name famous. I want to make his name famous. And I want to make his name famous for entrepreneurs. I believe that entrepreneurship is the vehicle that God created to get you that wealth that he promised you in Genesis. The first promises came down in Genesis, right? But he spoke it in Deuteronomy, and that's the scripture we always quote, that Deuteronomy 8:18. I was reading in Ecclesiastes. My good girlfriend Janice, shout out to Janice Anderson, Significant Life. We were talking yesterday after this weekend. It was ridiculous and it was amazing. And I was talking to her after that, and I was telling her about my talk, right, and my stance, right. My key message right now is that you don't have to choose. You can love God and make boatloads of money. You don't have to choose. It's not an either or. It's a yes and amen, right? It's not an either or. It's an and. And she was telling me about Ecclesiastes. She said, there's this scripture in Ecclesiastes. I'm not sure where it is, but it talks about how the wise man did great works, but no one remembered his name. And so I spent I couldn't sleep at 3:00 in the morning. I had to get up at 4:15 anyway to get ready for my my car to come and pick me up to take me to the airport. And I read all of Ecclesiastes. I found it in Ecclesiastes 9:15. And so I'm going to go find it right now and I'm going to read it to you. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was telling her about at my talk at ET's. They didn't get my slides to work. And so I was just kind of freestyling and just sharing what was on my heart. And we talked a lot about how a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid to sell, right? I told the story of the woman in 2 Kings. You guys know the story, right? I'll tell the story real quick. The woman in 2 Kings, her husband passed away and the debtors were coming. And so she goes to the prophet Elijah and she's like, the debtors are coming. I don't know what to do. And Elisha said the 4 words that should change your life. What do you have? That's what he asked her. He said, what do you have? Right? You have a gift, right? In her case, she had some oil and she said she was going to take that oil, make some bread so her and her son could die. And Elijah said, nah, I want you to go and I want you to borrow jars from your neighbors. And she went, she borrowed jars. Elisha said that the oil will run until the jars run out. Then he said, I want you to take said jars and I want you to go sell them to your neighbor. The same jars she just borrowed from her neighbors, she went and sold them the oil that she had put in them. So what does that mean? You have something in your hand right now that you could be selling. And guess what? Sell means sell in every language. Proverbs 11:26 says, I can't call it exactly. So this is the Darnyelle version of the gist of it. We curse the man who hoards, but we praise the man who sells. Did you know that? So when you aren't selling, when you aren't letting people know that you can solve their problem, right? When you aren't telling people that you have a solution they've been unsuccessful at finding on their own, you're preventing your ability to have access to wealth. You're minimizing your own move to millions if you are not selling what's in your hand, what's in your heart, what's in your spirit, what's in your mind. The gifts and talents that become so natural and easy to you solve real problems for other people. And that was really, really powerful to me. I wanted to read you guys Ecclesiastes 9:15. That's how this all got started. Let me find it. If this has been good to you, make a comment and share something that you're taking away from me just sharing about the last year since we've started this Move to Millions movement. It's so funny because I wanted a movement really bad. I knew a lot of people who had a movement and I didn't have one. And people were like, well, what's your movement? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have a movement. And then God gave me Move to Millions. I'm like, I have a movement. Y'all got a movement. All right, let me see. Let me find it. I'm trying to find the scripture. Now there lived in that city a man, poor but wise, and he saved the city by his wisdom. But nobody remembered that poor man. Do you want to be a poor man that nobody remembers, or do you want to be a wealthy man that creates a legacy? So you can only help other people if you sell what's in your hand. If you solve a problem that people have been unsuccessful at solving on their own. That's the only way. That's the only way, y'all. Like, this has been ridiculous and amazing. I I didn't see this coming, but I'm so grateful that it did. God is faithful who promised. He told me a long time ago that if I would take a bold stand for him, he would make it easy. It has never been this easy, y'all. It has never been this easy. It's been so ridiculous and amazing. I'm surrounded by people who love me and love the work that we do, that want to be a part of it, that are giving their talent. They're giving what's in their hand to my cause to help me. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I cannot believe that this is my life. I know I deserve it. I'm fully deserving of it, but I didn't see it coming. This last year has been ridiculous and amazing. So there you have it. I hope that this blessed you. I hope you got some great things from my tips. If you happen to catch this in the replay, I want you to hashtag replay and share with me what you got. Remember, if you want to get that core values exercise, slide in my DMs on Instagram or on Facebook or even here on Clubhouse, and I will figure out how to get you that exercise from my challenge. Because I don't know that I'm ever doing a challenge again, and I'm definitely never doing a 7-day challenge again. It was amazing, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot. So there you have it. So we've got people everywhere. Y'all know what I like to do at the end of my time is I like to take a couple of questions. So if you've been with us on Instagram or you've been with us on Facebook and you have a question, pop on over to Clubhouse. You no longer need an invite to be on Clubhouse. So pop on over to Clubhouse. I want to try to take a couple of minutes before I have to go. I am so tired, y'all. Like I literally got in this morning. I had to come in early because I had a doctor's appointment. And I'm taking 2 days off. I'm going on a retreat with my husband. I'm really excited about that. And then later this week, we have Leverage and Scale Weekend. So I'm really excited about the clients who are joining us for Leverage and Scale Weekend. It's going to be ridiculous and amazing. If you are a 6-figure entrepreneur who knows that you are called to millions, to the money, to the income and the impact, I do invite you to go to gettoknowdarnyelle.com. Gettoknowdarnyelle.com. You'll see our 2 programs there. We have Leverage and Scale Weekend and the Move to Millions Mastermind. And I invite you to apply for the program that you feel is right for you. If you are if you're not yet at 6 figures, we do have something else for you. Slide in my DMs and I'll tell you all about the program that we have. It's a self-study for those of you who are not yet at 6 figures, and it could get you to 6 figures. So I invite you to do any of those things if you would like to know what it would be like to work with me and Team Incredible One. I'm joined on stage by Fred, who is our business success coach on the team. And so I've been talking this whole time. Fred always has something ridiculous and amazing to say. So Fred, hold on a second. I want to make sure that the speaker is on, and then I'm going to give you the floor for you to be able to share your 2 cents with us. Okay, the speaker is connected, Fred. So unmute yourself, introduce yourself. That way, Facebook and Instagram should be able to hear you. And let me hear what you have to share about everything I just shared. And since you've been with us in January, what you've experienced, like kind of walking in the door into this Move to Millions movement that we've just begun.
Yeah, actually, when we had this conversation earlier, it was in the past year, and I was sitting back in my seat thinking, oh man, I wonder when I'm going to be talking about my past year. And I was like, oh, wait a second, it's October. That's 10 months. I'm already pretty much there. I guess I've been here for that long. I kind of forgot that I'd been here for that long. I feel like I'm brand new every time. But one of the things that I've noticed by working with such a diverse group of clients and business owners is, for the longest time, people are swayed. Well, let me say it this way. When you think of a happy ending, we are programmed to believe that it's the story that creates the happy ending. And we forget that it's the author that's writing it that is in absolute control of that happy ending. And that might not make sense, but if I explain it, we get so attached to the story of who we were, how we were when we grew up, that it starts to make us biased on, do we deserve this? Can I actually achieve that? That we forget that it's not the story that makes the happy ending so great. It's the fact that the author of the story is in absolute absolute control and gets to write that for themselves. So next time you are thinking that I don't deserve this, or maybe I didn't do enough to earn this, or maybe this price increase, I haven't achieved enough to say I'm this is who I am yet. Just remember that it's just tied to the story, and it's not the story that makes you great. It's the author that's in control of it that gets to decide to write the happy ending themselves. And when you grasp that, you will start to see massive mindset shifts in who you are and how you deliver yourself into the space.
That's so good. I love it. You always have the best insights to add to the conversation. Thank you so much for that, Fred. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of questions. So if you have a question and you're here with us on Clubhouse, raise your hands. Raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand if you're sure. You guys remember that commercial? Are you old enough? Confident, something, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure. Thank you very much. If you have a question and you're with us on Clubhouse, raise your hand. All right, we got a hand. Let's see who's coming up to the stage. Aloy Deskew. I don't know. All right, so when you come up to the stage, hi, my name is, my question is, so that we can serve and support you. If you have a question, if there are a couple more people, feel free to come on up. I'm inviting you to the stage, so hopefully you'll have an opportunity to join us. Anybody here have a question? For those of you who are on Instagram and on Facebook, again, slide into my DMs if you'd like to learn more about the core values exercise, and I'll figure out how to get that to you. Welcome to the stage, Adrienne.
Hi, Darnyelle. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been listening to you for a little while now. I saw something with you and Terry Igioma, and I'm so inspired by you and Terry, but in particular, the way in which you are so demonstrative as far as like your commitment to biblical principles and things like that. I'm so inspired. So my question to you is, I'm making a pretty wide arc of a turn into entrepreneurship.
Okay.
I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but by trade, the ASQ is Esquire.
Oh, okay.
So I'm leaving a judgeship.
Oh,
I actually
wow.
already resigned.
Okay.
And I'm moving into this space of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
While the challenges that I'm having is incorporating people into my circle who have similar goals and objectives. I'm finding that people like myself who spent years in the study and practice of law tend to have a limited vision in terms of, staying in it, retiring, which is great, just not what I chose to do.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, how do I expand my circle? I do have, of course, lots of, not a lot, a few other friends who are doing different things, but like no one is on this path. And I keep saying, God, where are my, where's my tribe? Where are my people? And I'm trying to figure out how to just expand my circle, because it does get a little bit lonely building and, not able to really get, feedback or to see someone and aspire to something even higher than what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I know exactly
it's
what you mean.
Really challenging. I'm struggling.
Yeah. So, and I love everything that you shared, and I totally get it, and that's a big reason why our community is so important, because entrepreneurship is lonely, right? And I don't even know if you know this, but like of our clients, 90% of our clients are coaches, consultants, accountants, or attorneys. So we do work with attorneys and former attorneys and all of that. I've worked with so many over the years. I'm just planting that little seed because my community is thebomb.com, and there's no community like that out there. But I would say, honestly, like, get clear about your core values and start first, pray, like tell God what you're seeking, right? Show me the people. Right. Show me my people. Show me the people who believe like I believe, that aspire like I aspire. Put them in front of me, and it, depending upon your level of belief, like make it plain, or, however you might negotiate with God to make sure you get in front of the people. But get really, really clear about what it is that you're seeking, and then try. Like for me, back in the day, I created my own community because the community that I needed wasn't available.
Okay.
And so I created my own. And today, I have an amazing community of people who are, they're mission driven, they're heart centered, they are people of faith.
Yes.
And they are committed to excellence and legacy. They are going to be the first millionaires in their family. They are committed to leaving inheritance for their children's children. They want to do great work. They want to be recognized for the contribution that they make at every level, and they're unapologetic about it. And so, it can be as simple as getting into Facebook groups. That's probably a great place to start, right? If you hear about people, if you happen to reach out to people and you're asking them, like, who should I follow? Follow lots of people. And then listen to what they're saying, not just what they say when they're trying to market to you, but just when they're not marketing to you, and see if it resonates with you. You know how to try the spirit by the spirit, right? You know how to make sure that you're in a space where you feel like you can be free and honest and authentic in who you are, and not contrived, or you don't have to posture up or any of those things. You know exactly what to do. Start online, right? Start with Facebook groups. Look at events.
Okay.
Go to Eventbrite.com and Google whatever, or put in whatever you're looking for, and look at events like that. Make sure you put May 25th through the 27th on your calendar so you can come to Move to Millions. And like I said, in February, we'll be doing the Move to Millions tour, and start seeking those things out. Go join the Move to Millions Facebook group. Try us out while you're trying everybody else out. But being really, really clear about what you're seeking is the first step, because I believe that once you decide, God rearranges the whole universe to bring you what you decided. And so it just kind of falls into your lap based on your level of clarity. So that's where I would start if I were you, in order to make sure that you get in front of the people. And sometimes it's going to be a hit, and sometimes it's going to be a miss, right? But we gotta keep trying, because your people are definitely out there. People who believe like you believe. Like, I think it's really awesome. Like, I get excited just hearing you say, I used to be a judge, and I'm walking away from all of that because I want to do something even more impactful than being a judge. Like, I'm gonna have a separate conversation, be like, well, what is it that you wants to do? Because you was a judge, right? So I'm honored and impressed by your desire to seek entrepreneurship and fulfillment and greater impact than I'm sure you were already having in the work that you were doing. And so that excites me.
Yes. Thank you.
And I know other people will be excited by that as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Such great tips. I really appreciate it. God
You are
bless
very
you.
welcome. You as well, my
Thank
dear.
you so much.
You are so welcome.
Okay.
All right. We have time to take one more question. If there is another question, we have time to take one more before we call it a day. If not, then we gonna call it a day. Thank you for those of you who are here. Let me say hi to all the people. Hey, Robin. Hey, Winnie. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Lady D Diamond. Hey, Deetra. Hey, Deetra. How are you? Hey, Carla. Hey, Yvonda, Mary, Antonia. Hey, Lachelle. How are you, girl? Marsha and Shanoria. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you guys for hanging out. And of course, all of you who are still with us on Instagram and on Facebook, we appreciate you being here. Hey, Amy. I see Amy right there. Hey, Dr. Darnyelle. Like, I'm glad you guys are all here every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is our hope, our desire, our goal to show up for Move to Millions Monday. I am so tired, but I was like, I still got to talk to the people today. And I wanted to kind of process this last year, because it hit me over the weekend as I was serving at Jasmine's event. Like, it's been a year. Hey, Christina. Hey, Stewardship Masters. So I am just honored, grateful to be doing this work. And thank you for coming to hang out with me to hear what I have to say about this work that we're doing. Hey, Nicole. I just met Nicole yesterday at ET's event. Hey. I'm just honored and grateful to be here, to be doing this work, to know all of you, to be connected to all of you. If you are not a member of my group on Facebook, you can go to movetomillionsgroup.com. movetomillionsgroup.com. Shanika, can you put that in the chat on IG? All of this also, if you just go to either Darnyelle on Clubhouse or gettoknowdarnyelle.com, those links are going to take you to my link tree. And from my link tree, you can see all of the things. I will eventually get my core values exercise put on there, but in the interim, I will figure out how to get it to you. If you're interested in that, just shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll get you the details of that. Also, shoot me a DM if you're not yet at 6 figures and you want to get to 6 figures. Shoot me a DM and I'll talk to you, share you some information with you about our self-study program that if you take the steps and do the work, you could produce 6 figures for you. Clients who are doing that. It used to be actually a program that I ran. It was so good that when we decided to change the program, we decided to keep that content because it's that good. But you can do it at a self-pace and get all of the amazing little nuggets that could take your business to 6 figures. So I want to thank you guys for being with us, for hanging out today. Just know that I love you and I appreciate you. I am ushering you a number 6 blessing. That the Lord bless you and keep you, that his grace would shine upon you, that he would bring you peace. I'll see you guys next Monday at 4 p.m. for our next Move to Millions Monday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.